Welcome, foolish mortals. There's no turning back now.
That's right. There is no turning back now, foolish mortals. Why would you want to? Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Disney Life, Happy Life podcast, the podcast where I talk about all things Disney. Not just Disney parks, not just Disney movies, not just Disney music, all things Disney. If it's Disney related, then I'm going to talk about it. And who am I? Well, I'm Kristen, your ghost host on this incredible Disney journey. And you know me, if it's a Disney life, then I'm a happy wife. Well, welcome everybody. How's everyone doing this week? I hope everyone is having a fantastic week. I know that I am. This week I made my dining reservations for our upcoming trip, and I have to say that I am so excited about it. I don't know what it is, but making dining reservations for an upcoming Disney trip just makes it that much more exciting. It makes it that much more real to me. Does that sound weird? Is that weird? I don't know. But that's just the way that it is for me. It just makes it seem that much more real. As you guys know, I'm a planner. I love to plan trips. It's one of my favorite things to do. As soon as we have a trip booked, I will immediately start the planning process. What days we're going to go where, what we're going to do for dinner and lunch and breakfast, and what dining reservations I'm going to make. You know, this time Emily and I added a little bit more to that aspect with who we're going to go, like who we're going to dress as. We're going to do some Disney bounding. And we're going to go on the more casual side of it. But, you know, we had to decide who we're going to be and on which day, which, you know, I guess couple, it sounds weird, main character and sidekick, which ones we're going to be. Or main characters, I guess, because, you know, we're doing Minnie and Daisy one day and Mickey and Donald, you know, they're all main characters there. So which ones we're going to be on which days. I love the whole planning process. So when it comes to 60 days in advance and I get to make my advanced dining reservations, or ADRs as those in the know, when I get to make those, it's just so exciting, you know, getting up at 6 a.m, maybe a little before 6, and jumping on the computer and getting in whatever you can. And then throughout the day, I usually go in there and I'll, you know, well, maybe I don't want 7. Maybe I want 6:30 for dinner. Maybe I don't want 6. Maybe I want, you know, 7 o'clock, that kind of stuff. And pretty much until we go, I will be making adjustments to our dining reservations. It's just the way that it is. It makes it seem that much more real to me. And I don't know. I just love it. It's just a part of who I am. I just love doing that kind of stuff. As of today, when I'm recording this part, we are 56 days out from our trip, and I absolutely cannot believe it. Em and I are so excited for our Disney trip. It's just going to be so relaxing and so fun. And I say relaxing, it's Disney, so how relaxing is Disney? But it's going to be so relaxing. It's going to be so fun, so great to see Em dancing again in Disney. I absolutely cannot wait to see her in Magic Kingdom. It's just going to be like, I don't know, a dream come true. I'm just so excited about it. So 56 days, I absolutely cannot wait. So yeah. So like I've been doing, starting off episodes with some new news for Disney. So some proper Disney news for this episode. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party dates and when tickets go on sale was announced this week. The extremely loved party runs from August 7th through October 31st. August 7th through October 31st on certain days. I want to say it's like a couple of days during the week and like once on the weekend. I could be very wrong, but I feel like it's only 3-4 days a week that it runs. It's not every day because that would be chaos. So tickets go on sale for the party in May. August 7th is actually the earliest start date that they have had, which beats out the previous August 9th. So that's pretty cool. Tickets range from $119 to $229 per person plus tax. I guess it depends on when you're going to go. If you're going to go on like a Tuesday, I guess tickets will be cheaper than if you were going to go on a Saturday, which makes sense, I guess, when you think about it. I mean, it's still a lot of money, but it's, you know, you're going to have a great time. I love Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I think it is a great time. It's actually one of my favorite, you know, parties and stuff. Like, I think I've only been to the Christmas party once, so I'm definitely going to have to go again and, you know, kind of see which one I like better. But so far, Halloween party definitely wins out for me. So tickets go on sale May 5th for Disney Resort guests and May 12th for all other guests. So if you're staying at Disney during those times and you want to get tickets, if you already have a trip planned and stuff like that, you can buy tickets to the party. If not, then that comes on May 12th. Say you're a pass holder or live in Florida and, you know, or California, because I believe these are for both. I could be wrong, though. That's when those go on sale. So more and more details will definitely be coming out as the party gets closer. You know, we've still got, you know, it's only the end of April. So there's still like 3 months. 3 months? A little over 3 months until it starts. So very exciting. Love the Halloween party. So more and more details will come out as it gets closer, so stay tuned for that. I got this news from wdwmagic.com. So go ahead and check out their website and go there for more Disney news. All right? So now, why was this news appropriate for this episode? Because on this episode, I am bringing you my favorite Disney villains. I'm a big fan of villains, which may seem a little off if you know me. I don't know. I'm a big fan of the villains. I love it. I'm really looking forward to when the Villain Land comes out in Magic Kingdom. I think that's what's slated for like 2028, I think. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait for that because, you know, there's some villains and characters that you would love to meet that you probably would never get a chance to unless it's, you know, either around Halloween or if they have their own land, just like they're going to have at Magic Kingdom. So I'm really excited about that. And I realized, you know, I haven't done a list of my favorite villains yet. So hence the episode. So let's jump right into it. And now on to my list. Okay, so I will preface this by saying the only ones that are in true order, I guess we'll say, are my top 3. Those are really my top 3 villains. So all the others, they could be interchanged here and there, but my top 3 are my top 3. So we'll start with that. So let's get started. All right, number 10 is, drumroll please, Captain Hook from Peter Pan. If you know, you know. So I've always been a fan of Captain Hook, but he definitely became, you know, a figure on this list when I was watching the Tinkerbell movies with my daughter Emily when she was much younger. She was always a huge fan of the Tinkerbell movies, and she especially loved Tinkerbell and the Pirate Fairy. Now, if you've watched it, then you know we see a young Captain Hook in this movie. You know, through the whole thing, you think he's this great guy. He's helping out, you know, the pirate, quote unquote, Pirate Fairy. He's helping her out. You think, you know, it's all going to be great. And then you find out he's the bad guy. So in that movie, you see a young Captain Hook. And I always liked Captain Hook, but seeing this, you know, kind of a little bit of a backstory almost for Captain Hook, I thought that was really cool. And also in that movie, you meet the crocodile, aka Crocky. And Em, when she saw that, she was in love with Crocky. She was obsessed. So even to this day, when we ride Peter Pan's flight in Magic Kingdom, whenever we ride it, and when you come up to the part, or any part in it with the crocodile, with the TikTok croc, when you see him, Em will always go, Crocky! every time. Every single time. So because of all of that, I just have a little bit more of a love for Captain Hook. He's definitely a villain, but he kind of bumbles things here and there. He's not necessarily the suavest kind of guy. So you kind of gotta love him. He's also scared of a crocodile when he could easily best him when he's, for one thing, human. Another thing, he has access to henchmen and weapons and stuff like that. Like, when you think about it, I mean, really? But he is petrified of Crocky. So it's really funny. And, just can't help but like him. Just can't help but, have him as one of your favorites. Is he a bad guy? Yes. Is he mean? Yes. Does he have the henchmen like all villains do? Yes. Even Mr. Smee, who doesn't seem that bad. Like, I mean, come on. So there you go. Coming in at number 10, Captain Hook. On to number 9 is Dr. Facilier, a.k.a. the Shadow Man from The Princess and the Frog. Now, I always loved Dr. Facilier. He just had this, like, suave, sassy way about him that I loved. Dressing up in his outfit. He had the charm. He had it all. But it really showed how much of a villain he was, because when Emily was younger, not only did she love the Tinkerbell movies, but she was in love with The Princess and the Frog. Tiana was her favorite princess. She was just enamored with that movie. And we would watch it every day for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I didn't mind. I love Princess and the Frog. Tiana's amazing. I just love it. And, Naveen's arc through the movie, it's just perfect. And the one thing about that movie is that Emily was petrified of Dr. Facilier, the Shadow Man. And she would see him on the screen and she'd say, "No, Shadow Man." And it was cute, but I felt bad that she was scared. She just loved the movie so much that whenever he would come on screen, she would like run over to me and like duck her eyes and like not watch, or watch through her fingers, And like I said, I felt bad that she was scared, but at the same time, it was adorable. So you just gotta love him. And now, as an 11-year-old, she's definitely not scared of him anymore. But she also loves that he became, a minor figure in the Descendants world. His daughter, becomes a villain kid and goes to Oridon and that kind of stuff. So she loved that interaction in there too. And I did too. I thought it was great. I love the Descendants movies. So Dr. Facilier, with all his swagger, he's a true villain. He uses powers and his friends from the other side to do his bidding. He tries to get money and power and all of this to kind of rule New Orleans. And he tries to kill multiple characters, even actually killing Ray, who we all love Ray, and it still makes me cry to this day whenever it happens. I mean, beautiful little Ray. Yeah. So he's a nasty person, and we're talking about Shadow Man again. He's a nasty person, which just makes him a great villain. So there you go. Number 9, Dr. Facilier. Number 8 is Lady Tremaine, aka Cinderella's stepmother, for those who don't know. I didn't know that was her name for the longest time. I think I was an adult when I found out that she actually had a name. So, crazy. But Lady Tremaine, Cinderella's evil, wicked stepmother. So, Lady Tremaine marries Cinderella's father. She enters this home with her 2 own daughters into this loving home with the man that she loves and this little girl. And she becomes stepmother to this girl. And when Cinderella's father dies, instead of loving and taking care of Cinderella and making her one of her own daughters, she turns Cinderella into a servant. Cinderella waits on them hand and foot. She's treated like garbage, and Lady Tremaine just revels in it. She doesn't want anything good for her stepdaughter. And it makes me sad, since I have a wonderful stepmother. She's amazing. And even since my father passed away, she still loves me and my sister just as much as she always did. She loves us like her own, has never not felt that way about us. And to see a stepmother, even though it's a cartoon, to see Lady Tremaine treating Cinderella like that just breaks my heart for Cinderella, which, you know, all leads to why she's such a great villain. Now, I'm sure many people know that there have been a lot of retelling stories, movies of Cinderella. One of my personal favorites is the movie Ever After, starring Drew Barrymore, who plays Danielle, who is aka Cinderella. And her stepmother is played by Angelica Houston, who is amazing. She takes that role and runs with it. She is so good, and she just embodies that character, and she embodies that the villainous feel of Lady Tremaine. That's not her name in the movie, but she embodies that character in real life. So to see that kind of live action, and that movie Ever After came out before the live action Cinderella that came out in recent years. Came out way before that, and they just did a fantastic job. And they're still doing kind of like the quote unquote Cinderella story, like Bridgerton, the latest season of Bridgerton, which I'm a huge fan of. They just had their own Cinderella story this past season, where Sophie, who is like the Cinderella character, she has her wicked stepmother, who is actually played by the same person who played Cho Chang in the Harry Potter movies. When I found that out, I was like, no. And then I looked at her and I was like, yes. So that was so cool. And it was so cool to see her play that role. But again, they just took that story, and she took that character and took the feel of Lady Tremaine from Cinderella and just embodied that character. And I think Julia Quinn, who wrote the books, she just did such a fantastic job with that book. That season was just amazing. So yeah. So there's lots of retelling of Cinderella, but nothing will beat Lady Tremaine. She's the original. So we gotta love her. And I think one of my favorite parts about Lady Tremaine is her cat. If you know me, you know I'm a cat lady. So I just love Lucifer. He's mean and he's nasty, and you just want to pick him up and squeeze him and be like, no, it's okay. You can be a good kitty. But he's got to be one of my favorite things about her. I don't know. But there you have it. Number 8, Lady Tremaine. Moving on to number 7 is none other than the villain from Toy Story 3. Now we're skipping over to Toy Story 1 and 2 and going right into 3. That's Lotso, or Lotso Huggin' Bear. He's a magenta pink teddy bear that smells like strawberries, but you find out just how nasty he really is. So Andy's toys get donated to a daycare, and they think they're going to be living the good life with, I guess we'll say the bigger kids. They're going to get played with all the time. They're going to get loved. These kids are going to just want to play with them all the time, and it's going to be great. And Lotso greets them as they come into the daycare and makes them feel like this, feel that it's going to be the best. But then he pushes them into the little kids' room, and these toys are more for, older daycare kids, because younger kids won't understand how to play with them. They'll just get destroyed and mangled, and Andy's toys are so scared. They don't know what to do. They don't want to get destroyed, and it's all because Lotso made them believe it was going to be great, and it really wasn't. So, and through this, you find out that Lotso was just a hurt teddy bear. He thought this little girl loved him so much. And then in his mind, he finds out that she never loved him at all. She didn't love him because he was replaced. So he takes out his anger and his hurt feelings on other toys around him. And he's just a bully and mean and nasty. And that's what makes him such a great villain. And you think to yourself, he's just a teddy bear. But yeah, he's just a teddy bear. He just needs some love, You kind of want to just pick him up and love him and say, it's okay, Lotso. It's not that bad. Life's not going to be that bad. There's no need to be so mean and nasty. But I think all of that is what makes him such a great villain. So, and I just love him. And you know that if he would just smile and not look so mean, he'd be great. But yeah, there you go. So number 7, Lotso from Toy Story 3. On to number 6 is the Lord of the Underworld himself, Hades. So back in the day, I loved learning about Greek gods. I thought it was so cool about different gods for different things and all, just loved it. You know, I'm a huge fan of the Percy Jackson books. If you haven't read them, definitely check those out. So when I was, you know, a young teenager and the movie Hercules came out, I think I was like 15 when it came out. So when that came out, I was so excited about it. And one of the best characters in the whole movie is definitely the villain, Hades. So he's voiced by the incomparable James Woods. If you know his voice, you know. And he just brings so much to this character. And I can't imagine him any other way. Like, I can't imagine it being voiced by anybody else. So not only is Hades the god of the underworld, but he does everything to make sure that Hercules fails in his mission to become a god himself. And he's throwing things at him. He's releasing the Titans. He's doing all of these things to make sure that Herc does not become a god. And then he finds out Hercules falls in love with Meg. So he uses Meg against him. Well, she doesn't want to, but he's got a hold on her. So he's going to use her. And you feel bad for her. You feel bad, you know, for Herc and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. So he just proves how mean and nasty he is. He's manipulative. All the things that lead him to be such a great villain. And, you know, James Woods, he just lands so many zingers and one-liners and jokes and all these kinds of things in Hercules. And I wonder to myself, you know, were those scripted? Did he just go off the cuff and make those? I really would love to know. I'm going to have to try and do some research and see about that. So, and all of that makes Hercules one of the funniest Disney animated movies that there is. So I just love it. Hercules is such a great movie. Fun fact, I actually quoted the song Go the Distance from Hercules in my yearbook, which I think I mentioned in a previous episode, but talking about Hercules, I had to mention it again. So there you go. Number 6 on my list is Hades, the Lord of the Underworld from Hercules. Moving on to number 5 is Mother Gothel from Tangled. Who doesn't love Mother Gothel? She's a devious woman who knows what she wants in life, and that's to be a young and beautiful forever. And she thinks that she's found the key to this, which is this beautiful flower. And if you sing to it, it'll give you the ability to be young and beautiful. And then she goes to the flower, finds that the guards from the palace have taken it because they found that if they were to make a tea out of it, it would save their ailing queen. And she was really sick and they needed something to rescue her. Meanwhile, she was pregnant with Rapunzel. And they give it to her. She gets all better, has Rapunzel, and they find out that the powers have gone into Rapunzel. So Mother Gothel finds this out and she kidnaps Rapunzel and traps her in a tower far away from her parents, far away from anyone. And she knows that if she sings to Rapunzel's hair, brushes it and all of that, she'll get the magic that will make her young and beautiful again. And it's a good thing to note, whenever you see Mother Gothel tell Rapunzel that she loves her, she's not talking to Rapunzel. She's talking to Rapunzel's hair. So next time you watch Rapunzel, definitely look for that. And I'm hoping they'll do something like that in the upcoming live action version of Tangled, which I cannot wait for. So Mother Gothel kidnaps Rapunzel. She wants to keep the magic for herself. She doesn't want anybody to get it. So when Rapunzel escapes the tower, attempting to see the floating lights, which are lanterns, she meets Flynn Rider and Maximus and realizes there's so much more to her world than just being in the tower. And Mother Gothel can't have that. So she sets up Flynn, gets Rapunzel back to the tower, making her think Flynn's such a bad guy. But then Flynn comes and saves the day, or he tries to save the day, and ends up getting, I guess we'll say, killed by Mother Gothel. Almost, Rapunzel in the end uses some power to bring him back. So yay. But yeah, so Mother Gothel, she's manipulative, she's gaslighting, she's just plain mean. She is rude to Cinderella. I'm sorry, rude to Rapunzel all the time. She's just a bad mother and a bad person. So yeah, all of these things just show what a true villain she actually is. So there you go. Number 5 on the list, Mother Gothel from Tangled. On to number 4 is the villain of all villains. And I guess I would say that I would keep her at number 4. So 1 through 4 is definitely the actual. So number 4 is the villain of all villains, Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. So she is the mistress of all evil, an evil fairy who can turn into a dragon. Let's just pause and take that into account, which we do see at the end when she's fighting against Prince Philip. She turns herself into a dragon as a way to combat him. And yeah, she really is. Like, there's never a time when you really see her and go, oh, well, I feel kind of bad for her. No, that doesn't happen with Maleficent. She is so evil. She puts a curse on Princess Aurora simply because she wasn't invited to her christening. Aurora's parents did not invite Maleficent to the christening, and she was the only fairy out of all of them who wasn't invited. So she was mad. Maleficent was big mad. And she was like, no, I'm not going to be disinvited to this. Is that the right word? Yeah. She says, nope, I'm going to show up anyway. And that's exactly what she does. And she's so vindictive that she puts a curse on Princess Aurora that when she turns 16, she's going to touch the spindle of a spinning wheel and she's going to die. Well, thank you for the good fairies that were there. Merryweather hadn't given her gift to Aurora yet, and she changes it so that if she were to touch that on the spindle of a spinning wheel on her 16th birthday, she would just fall asleep until she could get true love's kiss. So, yay for Merryweather. But wow. Through the movie, Maleficent revels in the anguish that she's brought to the king and queen. She's all about it. Yeah. With her powers. And she's just so able to do so many vile and hateful things. She's cruel. She's nasty. It's no wonder that she is considered one of the biggest, baddest Disney villains of all time. So there you go. Number 4, Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. On to the top 3. So number 3. Now I will start by saying she's kind of a minor villain, but I love her. She's definitely one of my favorites. Is none other than Madame Mim from The Sword and the Stone. Now, while there are quite a few villains in this movie, there's always kind of an antagonist against Arthur and Merlin. In each kind of like little bit of the movie. Mim is just one part of it. But she definitely takes the cake, and she's definitely probably one of the most memorable parts of the whole movie. So she and Merlin, one of the biggest things is they have a wizard's duel. So they can prove who's the better wizard, witch, all that kind of stuff. Who's the most powerful, who's better. They have a wizard's duel. And just when you think that Madame Mim has got Merlin and she is going to beat him, he comes right back at her and throws on back at her, becoming this like disease almost, and makes her sick. And he just, he uses his intelligence and his powers to just outsmart her. And, good guy wins. But Madam Mim is just such a formidable character, and she's hilarious. So while she's not a traditional villain, she's not the only antagonist in the whole movie. She's not controlling everything that's evil and bad in the whole movie. She's just this one part of it. She's definitely the thing that stands out the most. You know, obviously besides Arthur pulling the sword from the stone, Madam Mim and that part with her and Merlin is literally the thing, at least to me, is the thing that stands out the most from The Sword and the Stone. I just absolutely love it. I think it's so great. So, yeah. Is it a wonder? Like, you can't watch that movie and not love her. You know, she may be a bad guy because she's going against Merlin and Arthur, but you just gotta love her. She's just hilarious. So number 3, Madam Mim from Sword in the Stone. Number 2 is the sea witch herself, Ursula. Now, for those who don't know, Ariel is my favorite princess. I haven't had a list yet of my favorite princesses. Obviously, Ariel would be number 1. I've said it before. Little Mermaid is one of my favorite Disney movies, but Ariel's definitely my favorite Disney princess. So, of course, Ursula's got to be on my list of Disney villains, and she's got to be towards the top, right? I mean, you know, Ursula is just bad. She's just bad, and you just love her because she's bad. And so she takes advantage of the naive and rebellious Ariel, who wants to be part of the human world, who has seen Eric and seen all that's going on, and she just wants to be a part of that. And Ursula takes advantage of that. And she sees that Ariel's developing feelings for Eric, that she loves him and she wants to be with him, and she makes a deal with her. She's like, you know what? I'll grant you your wish, but you got to get the prince to kiss you. You know, I'll give you legs, but you got to get the prince to kiss you, and you can't have a voice, and you've got 3 days to do it. That's it. I'm sorry, but that seems like a bum deal. And if she doesn't do it, she's got to be part of Ursula's creepy garden forever. Meanwhile, all Ursula is thinking is, this is a way for me to get at King Triton. This is a way for me to get the Triton. It's the way for me to get the power. If he sees that I'm doing this to Ariel, he's going to, step in. And he does. And I will be the most powerful in all the seas. And that is what happens, because things happen. But she sees that Ariel is so close to getting Eric to kiss her, is so close, and just messes with it. She turns herself into this gorgeous, desirable woman and uses Ariel's voice against her, which causes Eric to go under a spell. But we know that with the help of Ariel's friends that she turns things around. So yeah, all of this, like, Ursula is conniving, she's manipulative, she's powerful. She's got magical powers, so she's powerful. But she's also funny and witty, and she's got a killer song. Poor Unfortunate Souls, killer song. And she's got a couple of great henchmen in Flotsam and Jetsam. But all of this make her such a great villain. And when we first went on the Little Mermaid ride, which I'm blanking on the name, I feel like it's Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid. That could be it. When we first went on that ride, and Emily was younger, and she saw Ursula, larger than life. She was bigger, than you'd expect. She was like so scared. And I'm like, it's just a ride. It's fine. She's not real. Don't worry about it. But all of that, it all just proves what a great villain Ursula is. There's no wonder that she's number 2 on my list. She's absolutely just fantastic. So you gotta love her. You gotta love Ursula. She's just one of the best villains that there is. So number 2 on my list, Ursula from The Little Mermaid, which brings us to, drum roll please, number 1 on my list. And I don't know if people would know that this would be number 1. I just love him. And he's, yeah. So Oogie Boogie from The Nightmare Before Christmas is number one on my list. Now, he's the villain with the most pizzazz. Like, there's just something about him. And just think, he's a sack full of bugs. Like, all that. And he's still one of the best villains out there. Now, he's a gambler with a penchant for controlling fate and tormenting others. When he hears that Jack wants to run Christmas for the year, he devises a plan to capture Santa as a way to get to Jack. Because he's envious of Jack. Jack's got it all. He's the king of Halloween. He is the pumpkin king. But Oogie Boogie doesn't have that. So he's trying to think of a way to get to Jack. And that is Santa. So while Jack orders the kidnapping of Santa, he's still a Halloween guy, Jack, So he orders the kidnapping of Santa, which he actually asks Oogie Boogie's henchmen, Lock, Shock, and Barrel, asks them to capture him. Why he would ask them, I don't know. But asks them, they kidnap Santa, but instead of taking Santa back to Jack, who plans on treating him very well, instead of doing that, they bring him straight to Oogie Boogie. And when that happens, chaos is going to ensue. So in a world full of things that are scary, Oogie wants to make sure he's the biggest and baddest of them all. So why do I like him? I don't know. I just do. There's just something about him. He's got a great song. He's hysterical. Like, he's just funny. And you just can't help but like him. I mean, from the time we're little, we're told to be scared of the boogeyman under the bed. And that's what Oogie Boogie is. He's a boogeyman. And you're taught to be scared of it. And the fact that, they pull a string, he's just a bunch of bugs in a sack, it makes you think, why were we told to be scared of that? I mean, come on. Even Emily loves Oogie Boogie. And she's not one for anything scary. And she loves Oogie. So, there's just something about him. I just love him. I know he's mean. I know he's conniving. I know that he's willing to do whatever it takes, at least he thinks. I mean, Jack gets the better of them in the end. You gotta love Jack. But Oogie Boogie is definitely my favorite Disney villain. So there you have it. Number one on my list is Oogie Boogie from The Nightmare Before Christmas. So there we go. I do actually have some honorable mentions, so we won't stop there. Just quick honorable mentions. They didn't make the top 10, but I still think they're fantastic villains. We have the Evil Queen from Snow White. If you know, you know. Scar from The Lion King, Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, and Prince John, along with Sir Hiss and Sheriff Nottingham. I feel like I got that wrong. Along with his henchmen from Robin Hood. So, and then there's a big one. So these ladies are from a live action Disney movie. All the ones that I've talked about are animated. These ladies are definitely my favorite Disney villains from a live action. That is Winifred, Mary, and Sarah Sanderson, the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus. So there you go. There you have it. There's my list. And that is it for today's episode. So what did you guys think? Do you like my list of villains? Do you agree with it? Who's on your list of villains? I definitely want to know. So tell me who like your top 3 are, and I'll let everybody know. Okay? So yeah, list of villains. Let me know what you think. If any of yours made the list, if I'm missing somebody, great, because I could be. So just let me know. So that's it for today's episode. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the podcast, listen to this episode, and my thoughts on all things Disney and today, Disney villains. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me to bring my love of Disney to all of you. So thank you for taking the time to listen. You can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts, even on YouTube. And I'm hoping we'll be able to do videos soon. I know with the upcoming trip, we're going to be posting videos that Em and I take on the podcast's YouTube page. So we'll do that too. That'll be great. I'm really excited about that. But you can also follow along with us on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Handle is at Disney Life Happy Wife Podcast, all one word. So definitely go check us out there. I do have a TikTok, which I'm not really active in, but I definitely want to try to do that more, especially with the Disney trip coming up and, do more of that this summer. So we'll see. But definitely check out the YouTube page and the social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. Definitely more coming that way this summer, be more active. So there you go. And go, you're obviously listening, but feel free to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. I love getting reviews. Love, love, love. So, and hey, if you review, I'll read it on the podcast. So there you go. So thank you all again for listening. From the bottom of my heart, it means the absolute world to me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week and a great weekend to come. And I'll be back in a couple of weeks with a brand new episode. Until then, thanks for listening, and I'll see you real soon.
Now I and a ghost will follow you home.
Hurry back, hurry back.